Shortbox Nation, I am currently sitting right next to Luke Barnes, a.k.a. everyone's favorite Night Watch member, Rast. Luke, how are you doing today, sir?
Great, thanks. How are you?
Good, sir. How are you enjoying Collective Con?
Oh, it's nice, It's nice. It's a nice place, isn't it? So friendly.
Thank you, man. I appreciate it. Is your first time here down in Florida?
First time in Florida. It's my only second time in America.
Oh, nice. Where was the first time?
New York. I went to New York last year. Bit hectic for me. Slightly too hectic.
No, I got you.
Yeah,
you were at an Iceman game, man. That's one hell of a way to enjoy Jacksonville's,
Yeah, it was awesome.
Game.
We met this lawyer called John Phillips at the radio station on day before yesterday, and he sponsors the Iceman, so he took us there, gave us shirts, took us for dinner. It was awesome. It was great fun.
No, that sounds great.
Yeah, it was awesome.
So, how's the reception been from the fans? Especially with the new season just starting. I mean, have you noticed a change? Is it more chaotic? Is it more, or is it always kind of like this much people showing up to see you guys?
Well, it's interesting because I only did the first 4 seasons of the show. Generally, people seem to sort of notice you more when they're rewatching it for a reason.
Yeah.
So I think with season 8 coming up, I think everyone's been trying to remind themselves what's been going on and rewatched it. So for that reason, I think it's been slightly more hectic. I can imagine.
I gotta ask, man, when you're out in public, just enjoying, a drink at the bar, do you ever run into folks that recognize you and just automatically just don't like you because of your character, Ross? Really?
All the time. Well, yeah, all the time. Well, I meet people who just dislike me instantly, and I assume it's because of the character. But no, yeah, I don't. Yeah, I think so. Yeah. It's weird. It's a weird thing to happen, but it definitely happens.
Yeah. So I imagine that. It's the final season of Game of Thrones. Everyone's looking, there's theories out there. There's people just trying to guess what happens in the end. How often do you get asked for spoilers? Or do you have a story about, just the weirdest offer you ever got for spoilers?
Yeah, almost daily.
Really?
Yeah. Everyone's like, do you know what the end is? Like, nope, I left the show 7 years ago. No idea. Don't speak to anyone. Yeah, almost daily.
Huh.
Yeah.
So do you watch the show more or less since your character has,
Much less. They killed me off. Stop watching it out of bitterness.
Huh.
No, I'm joking. No, I'm not joking, actually. I did stop doing it. And then I've now caught up again. So I'm up to date. I've seen the last one, season 8.
Wow.
Episode 1, yeah.
Okay. So you've done your own rewatching too then?
Yeah, sorry?
I said, so you've done your own rewatch as well?
Oh, I've only seen it once.
Okay.
Seen it once. But I'm up to date now.
Got it.
It's awesome.
So I need your help if you could help me fill in this blank as it pertains to you. If you had a penny for every time you were asked blank, you'd be rich.
Yeah.
Oh, I mean, could you finish fill in the blank?
What the end of Game of Thrones is.
Did you get to keep any memorabilia afterwards?
Sadly not. No, they're really strict about it. So I think Joe stole some pebbles, I think.
Yeah, that's what he was saying. Some stones.
I think anything, man. It was a bottle of... Actually, I did get one thing, but I had to leave it in Belfast because I couldn't take it on a plane. We had the bottle of whiskey from Crassus Keep that they used on the set.
Yeah.
And I took it. I took it from the set when Robert Pugh got killed off, but I couldn't fly it back over because you're not allowed to take much alcohol in your bag.
Yeah.
But hey ho, what are you gonna do?
Do you seeing how big the show has gotten, especially up to this point? And you mentioned that your character met his demise around season 4 or 5. Do you ever look back and, at least watching it now and just seeing how big it's gotten and think, dang, I kind of wish my character would have lived a little further? Or are you happy with the way your character's...
I'm really happy. I was happy to be involved that much, man. I mean, yeah. I think it's really nice to be able to say, I did this time on it and it was awesome, but it's not my defining life of my last 8 years. It's just been...
And you're a playwright, if I'm correct, right?
That's
You've
right,
got 3 plays underneath your belt, at least according to the research I've found.
3?
3, right?
Way more than that.
Oh, okay. My apologies. So when it comes to your plays, if people love Game of Thrones like they do, is there a recommendation for some of the plays that you've written that you would think, hey, if you like Game of Thrones, you would also like what I've worked on outside of Game of Thrones?
Maybe. I don't write fantasy, so... Yeah. I wrote this musical last year at the Bush Theatre in London called All We've Wanted Was Everything, which I think is awesome, which you can find the soundtrack to and the play script online if you're interested. If you like characters like Arya or Cersei, I wrote this play called No One's About to Start Revolution, which played at the Hampstead Theatre in 2018, which is an all-female play about class division and what's expected of what we what the how rich people perceive their attitude towards poor people and what the reality of that relationship is. I guess, so those two plays probably.
Do you ever get to a point where the Game of Thrones fame is almost too much, where you're like, I've got a lot of other things I'm working on too? I mean, do you ever get tired of talking about
Yeah,
Rast and Game of
absolutely, yeah. I mean, like, it's a very small part of my career, but it's the biggest show of all time. So like that's bound to define how the world sees you. But I'm really proud to be part of it. I'm really proud to have played a role in it massively, and I think I'm fortunate to say it's not the entirety of what I've done, but I'm really proud to be involved in it.
That's awesome.
So, yeah.
So I had spoken to Joseph, and he brought up this very heartwarming memory he had of walking into Castle Black for the first time. And I want to ask you the same thing too. Is there a memory from your time on set, or when you were filming the show, that you still kind of reflect on, or you still kind of cherish? Yeah,
there's two actually. There was one. We were in Iceland, both in Iceland. There's one time we took this drive to take us around the mountains of Iceland. We found this underground pool. We went swimming with James Cosmo and John Bradley and Mark Kit in this underground pool. And I think that was like, just in reflection, an unbelievable privilege. And that evening, we saw the Northern Lights in the middle of nowhere in Iceland.
Wow.
And I was like, this is kind of something I never would have done on my own. So that was awesome.
No, that's fantastic. Awesome, yeah. I want to thank you so much for taking the time to talk to me. Do you want to go ahead and let people know where they can find you on social media, or some of the bodies of work that you've got going on that you can talk about?
Sure. I mean, like, you can find everything I'm doing on my website, which is lukeedwardbarnes.com. I'm on Twitter, Northern Luke, on Instagram at Luke Edward Barnes.
Awesome. Luke, I want to thank you so much. So enjoy the rest of your CollectorCon weekend.
Thanks. You too.